I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
Hi, I'm Kimiko Glenn. Welcome to the Theater Podcast with Alan Seals.
Nights I stay up and panic. You say you won't leave, you have it. Are you from another planet, love? You're so sexy, sweet, romantic. I'm glued to these sheets, it's magic. The way you take me, I like.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Theater Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Seals, and our guest for this episode is Kimiko Glenn. And I have to warn you, this conversation goes everywhere in the best possible way. We got into her whole creative universe, from how songwriting started out as this private little diary she actually never had planned to share with anybody, to the very funny reason her Hang Out Forever music video took such a dark comedic turn. She's got a new single out. Yes, Hang Out Forever. You have to go check it out. And we also talked about the surprising thing she's actually the most self-conscious about, and it's not what you'd guess, and how her time on Waitress collided with panic disorder in a way that she's never really unpacked publicly before. So, Kimiko, if you are listening, thank you so much for going there. And she also got incredibly honest about what it was like being suddenly recognizable everywhere during the height of Orange is the New Black, how she dealt with people literally grabbing her on the street, and why asserting herself creatively or otherwise still feels like a risk, even though she comes across online as being totally fearless. And then we ended up kind of in a deep conversation about boundaries and identity and being what she calls an impatient cheerleader, and why helping others is the most selfishly rewarding thing we can do. It's a wide-ranging, personal, funny, just like her, she's full of charming chaos. And so before we get into the actual episode, let me just play a little more of her new single that just released called Hang Out Forever.
Can we just hang out
Oh my gosh, today's guest is an incredible multi-hyphenate whose work spans Broadway, television, film, animation, and now, of course, original music. She has appeared in the Broadway production of Waitress, hit the road with the national tour of Spring Awakening, and then captured global attention as Brooke Soso in the groundbreaking series Orange is the New Black. Her voice has basically become a whole universe of characters. Nifty in Hazbin Hotel, Kiff in Kiff, you guessed it, Izzy in the My Little Pony movie, which my two boys love, by the way.
Thank you.
Plus the worlds of Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Centaurworld, DuckTales, BoJack Horseman, and we'd be here forever if I listed them all. On top of that, she's got a fan base through her music and creative work online, and now has a brand new single called Hang Out Forever, which just dropped on November 14th. Yeah. Kimiko Glenn,
Hi.
Welcome to the Theater Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, you are so, I was going to say multi-hyphenate, and I feel like that phrase is oft overused, but it truly describes you.
Aw.
in
I
such a
contain
great...
multitudes.
You do? Well, okay, like why it's a loaded question. I was like, why do you like doing everything? But why do you like doing everything?
Well, I don't know. Okay, so I started in the theater world. So that was like my first love was singing. I was like obsessed with singing and kind of as loud as possible, which my parents will attest to. I was, being crazy and like loving to do impressions at home. And my dad was like, you should do like a play or something. And I was like, yes. And so like I just started doing like theater and plays and like singing all the time. And it just was something that felt like is what I do naturally. It's like I don't like have to try to like be an actor. I just am one in my bones, unfortunately. So that's kind of how it all started. And then, I was in the theater space for a while, and then I started auditioning for like TV and film. And it's so silly. It sounds so stupid. But I didn't realize like, oh, actors can also do TV and film. I was like, because I was so obsessed with doing Broadway. I was like, I was like one track mind. I was like, this is all I care about. I just want to be on stage. And I didn't think like, oh, I can also audition for like TV and film. And when I started getting, sounds so stupid, but when I started getting like auditions, I was like, okay. And then I got something pretty early on and I saw the paycheck and I was like, oh, why am I doing theater? And so I started really pursuing it. And then voiceover came into the mix. I realized, like, as I'm getting older, like, setting myself up for the future, I was like, wow, I can do this. Like, it's very flexible. Like, the scheduling is flexible. I could do this while pregnant. I could do this, like, while having a child, you know, there's passive income involved because, like, you know, it airs on television a lot. And so I was like, this is really great. And it feels so natural to me because I'm like, it's almost like being on stage.
Yeah.
And then with the music stuff, I've always written music. Like kind of for the past like 10 to 12 years or something. And I just write it to feel like I can process my emotions. It's like my own form of journaling. And so like I started learning guitar like at the age of like probably 20. Self-taught, really shitty, not great. Can I say shitty?
Yes.
Okay. And still not great. With using that tool, I like have been writing and just sort of like, it'll be like, you know, a verse and a chorus, and I'll be like, feeling gone. How wonderful. I processed it. And then I would just put it away. And then during COVID, I started actually sharing my music with my friends who I was like, okay, I think they're safe. Like, it was always so embarrassing to me because I like, it wasn't for like public consumption. It was for like, it was like my diary, you know?
Right.
So my friends were like, you should do something with this. What are you doing? And so then I really hesitated for like 3 years. And then I started producing it like 2 years ago. And now I'm like full on and I'm like, this is so fun. And this is like a whole different, like now that I'm actually forced to like finish a song, I'm like, it's so nice. It feels so good to like put the puzzle pieces together and just like have it click and be this weird like moment in time of your like thought process, you know?
There's so many things you said that I'm like, that make me scratch my head.
Okay, yeah, I'm confusing, I know.
No, it's not confusing.
Okay.
It's not confusing. And this is what I love about this podcast, because we can sit down and dive into all the intricacies of what makes people so uniquely different. And like you were saying that music of all things was the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's me. I'm used to like, I'm an actor, so like I'm used to being given a script. This is someone else, you know? And,
Right.
and like I'm allowed to just, the reason I felt so good in theater was because like I was like pretty shy and I just was weird. I don't know. And I like, when I got on stage, I was allowed to just be big and be like confident and be like someone else. And it was like it was like a fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, those power poses, like it just sort of did that for me, where it was kind of therapeutic. Yeah, I think, what was it? What was the question? I forget what the question was again.
The music is the most vulnerable thing you've done so far.
Yeah. Well, so also, it's interesting because I actually, side note, I had to like do a maid of honor speech for my sister's wedding, and that was so scary because it's me.
Right.
You know, these things that are like coming from me are just so vulnerable and so like, oh my gosh, what if I mess it up? Also, like in any scenario, there are so many factors. A lot of times actors take the fall for something being bad, but at the same time, you can always be like, the director told me to do this. The writer was like, rewrote that line. I didn't agree with it. Or the editor gave me a bad edit. You can you can say a lot of things to like make excuses for why something's not great or like why you look bad or whatever. But when it's me, when it's like all me, it's all on me, you know? So it's like, you're seeing like into my mind, and like if you disagree, that's like so much more heartbreaking than if someone didn't like something I did.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so diving into Hang Out Forever for a second, if you just listen to it, it seems like this like cute, like I want to be with you forever. I think you're my soulmate. You're great. But then you watch the video, and it's like, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much for those who haven't seen it, but it made me laugh so much. And there's like a lot of some pretty dark stuff in there.
Yeah.
That is presented, you know, sort of comically or whatever. So okay, so number one, why I was like say what I was saying a second ago about like what you said. There's a lot of things that maybe scratch my head. Like this is vulnerable. Your dark secrets, right? Like number one, do you want to imprison your boyfriend or girlfriend? Right. But but two, like I feel like if something that is already vulnerable, you're already doing this music, you're already putting that out there, but then to kind of take it to that extreme, does that? Like, it's a two-part question. So does that make it easier, or is?
Here's the thing. Like I wrote it in earnest about the guy I was dating at the time.
His name was Ernest?
His name was Ernest?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Ernest goes to band camp. Yeah.
I just wrote it kind of like as he had done so much for me for my birthday, and I was like, oh my God, I need to like really do something crazy good for his birthday. And so I had like been vibing on this concept of like, we should hang out forever, because I was dating him and he was like so good to me and so wonderful. And I was like, we should like hang out forever, but I was being really non-committal at the time too. So it's like sort of this like, we should hang out forever, but I'm also like, we're just hanging out,
Yeah. Situationships.
Yeah. But I wrote it kind of furiously, like I have to like get this out before his birthday. And I started producing it and I was like, man, this is like too like earnest. It's too sincere. I need to like counteract this somehow. And then I was like in the shower and I was like, oh my God, what if I trapped him? What if I like made him hang out with me forever? And I was like, oh, that's a good way to just like give this a little balance, because the song itself was kind of vulnerable. And you'll see, because I'm going to release an acoustic version in a couple weeks, and you'll see kind of like the original form it was, where it's actually, it sounds like an unhinged pop song, and it's like, how is this going to be an acoustic? But it really is so sweet. It's like a sweet, sappy song. So, you'll see the journey of that thought process.
So you took it to an extreme to counteract being too vulnerable.
A little bit, yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, because it's all you. Yeah, I can understand that when it's something like when it's you're directing, you're producing, you're acting in it, you're singing in it, everything. And then if there's anything wrong, like you don't have anybody else to blame.
Yeah, it's all me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, but also I took it as an opportunity, because like I was actually just going to drop music. I didn't want to like complicate it. I'm not like with a label or like anything. I didn't want to be beholden to anyone. I just wanted it to be a creative expression, kind of how it has existed, because I didn't want to like tarnish the thing that was like so helpful to me and helps me process. Like even as I'm doing all this stuff, I still like sit down and write, because it makes me like, if I'm going through something or trying to process a feeling, I like write music, because it just makes me feel like better. But also I love being behind the camera.
Really?
And I love like, just kind of the idea of having creative control is like, oh, yes, oh my God, finally, because I have such strong opinions and I have such like a really strong point of view that like it's really sometimes difficult to hold my tongue as an actor, because I'm like, I see this so differently, or like I disagree, but like you kind of are in like a submissive kind of role as an actor, because you're like a vessel for everyone else's creative vision, where like you don't have control over a lot. You kind of are like, the director's telling me to do this, the writer's like, I have to speak these lines, like the costume person put me in this crazy outfit that I do not think is this character, like the makeup artist is not very good, like, but you take the fall, you like,
because you're what people see.
Yeah, you're what people see, and that's what people go like, oh, well, they could have fixed it. And it's like, actually, there's so many moving parts, especially like in TV and film, because like it's quick, you just have to get it done. And so there are quick decisions made, and you can't really like contest so much if you're not like in it from like a producer angle or like, top line star or whatever, So it's interesting.
What about, I guess digging into that a little bit, like Orange is the New Black was such a game changer in many ways. And it was, I think, one of our latest, still greatest, truly ensemble-driven shows. There were, like Taylor Schilling was like the lead, I'll put in quotes, but like it was still about everybody.
Yeah.
And so being a part of that experience, Was that different for you, like in terms of like what you were able to bring to the table in your character of Soso, or were you able to like disagree a little bit, or no,
No.
really?
It was a very complicated thing because like Genji, the creator, lived in LA and we were shooting in New York. So it was like you didn't really, and we didn't do table reads and stuff like that. So it was very much like you showed up and you did it. And
Hmm.
you asked questions on the day.
There was no table reads?
No, it was very removed. So it was very like, that was a hard job for me, honestly.
Hmm.
Because also it was like my first big TV job. I had done some like TV and film and stuff, but it was like the first thing that like really I was doing all the time.
Mhm.
And so, and I knew because I entered in season 2 that it was a massive thing. So I was like, oh my God, this is so much pressure, So there were a lot of emotions like mixed in with it. And on top of that, all the women are like alphas and I'm such a beta, and I'm like, a little like shy sometimes. And also like the character's beta. So I was like, I feel so out of place, which is the point, but it's like hard because, you're the only one acting this way.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was an interesting experience in that way.
I would not have guessed you would call yourself a beta from from the
Yeah.
persona you put out online, and I know that is always not
I'm
not
an
the
alpha
truth.
beta. I contain multitudes. Well, but I am like very kind of like assertive in certain ways, like in a creative sense.
Yeah.
I've started becoming more like, this is what we're doing. This is the choice, because like in this creative project, it is me.
Yeah.
So it's like just like kind of laying down and just going like, you know what? It's what they gave me, is not enough. Like which is like, I think hard for some of my collaborators, but also at the end of the day, we step back and we're like, yeah, it's really good. It's like better than it was before. So you can't really be mad.
Yeah.
It just takes more effort, but it's, I forget the question. I got 2 hours of sleep, by the way.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Just to announce to everyone where I'm at. I just like couldn't sleep.
Well, thank you for coming in
Yeah,
on 2
yeah,
hours of
of
sleep,
course.
jet lag. But so the ability for you to like, do you switch? Is it more of a context switch between like, okay, I'm going to sit here on set and I'm going to do what I'm told to do versus, like you said, it's hard for you not to do that sometimes. So are you sometimes just sitting there like, oh, I wish I want to do this differently, or I want to do this other shot or whatever. And like, it's hard for you to say, can I have one more for me? Can I do one more?
It is really hard for me,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like angry that I can't voice my thoughts. I just feel really scared too,
Interesting.
because like I don't always I feel often misunderstood or like an imposition. I like don't want to impose, and so it really takes a lot for me to be like, can we just do that one more time? Or like, I have this idea, I'm gonna pitch it. How do we feel? And like the idea of getting shut down is like scary to me. I don't know. I think it makes me nervous. It doesn't make me angry that I'm like, sitting there in that position. I just like, I don't know how to voice it.
Where did that come from though?
Hmm.
Like from as a child, where are you in the pecking order of children?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's part of it. I'm sure.
Maybe.
So yeah, maybe like your older siblings made you feel a little uncomfortable speaking up. Let's dissect
No.
that. No?
No, it wasn't like family related. I think it's just like it's just general, like in a general sense, like whether I was doing theater or whatever I was pursuing, like I'm a small Asian woman, and like that sounds like so typical, but it's like people, and I lead with kindness generally. Like I try and be like someone who makes people smile, makes people laugh, like makes people feel heard and understood.
Mhm.
I try to be like a welcoming energy. And then when I assert myself, people go like, whoa. Like, and it's just unexpected. And I'm not assertive as in mean or anything, but just sort of like definitive. Like,
Sure.
yeah, this is how I feel. This is what we're doing. People are like, don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean?
But isn't that the patriarchy? I mean, like to get a little
Completely.
cliche here.
Completely. Yeah, I deal with it a lot. It's like really frustrating. I deal with it like with home ownership, you know, like with the workers who come through, like, and I'm like, this is like, they'll try and tell me what, and I'm like, this is my house. This is literally my house. Why are you telling me what you're doing? Like, I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, just silly stuff like that. But it is like, you know, often male, female, but also it is female, female. Like it's just something that is kind of an unconscious thing that people do to people who are often kind, you know, and then decide to like speak their mind.
Have you started watching Pluribus yet?
No,
Do you know about it at all?
no, I
Okay,
don't. But it
can't-
looks crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, the oh, I can't talk about it. If you haven't seen it, I can't talk about it. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay.
It's all about like collective mindset and doing good as a like for the masses, and it doesn't compute to me why people don't want to do that in general. Of like just helping others will help you.
Yeah.
You are being selfish by helping others sometimes, because if everybody succeeds, you succeed, and they'll want to return the favor.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that same
Yeah?
way. Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break for a few commercials. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the episode.
The way I described myself to my friend the other day, I was like, I'm like an impatient cheerleader. Like I just have a lot of impatience. That's like a core part of me, which is I hate. I wish I was like a little more patient. But I also am such a cheerleader of like all my friends. I'm like the biggest fans of my friends. Like I like couldn't speak more highly of my friends. I like couldn't feel more full of love when I talk about them or like when I think of them or when I hang with them, you know. I just like I am such super fans of my friends. And I think that I don't know, I think like it just why are we not all cheering each other on, you know, especially if we're all just trying to, you know, do good for the world and, you know, contribute something unique and interesting, and I don't know.
Well, so along those lines, then you've got your TV and film and theater career, which is, I guess, more for the adults, and your voiceover career is so like kid focused,
Yeah.
in a very good way,
Yeah.
right? And like, how did you get into that initially? But then like the two fan bases, is there any Venn diagram of overlap there, or is it just two completely separate worlds?
Totally. I mean, well, like Centaurworld has like all of these Broadway people in it.
Yeah. So does Hazbin Hotel.
Hazbin Hotel. So
Yeah.
there is like a Venn diagram of like, and I think more animation is opening up to like Broadway people. And I'm like, why?
They can be big and goofy. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? When they can sing really easily, like use their voice. Like, I don't know. I think it's interesting that it isn't like more of a thing. But I think that's part of the success of these shows is, you know, when you can actually sing, when you can actually like express yourself really well, like it brings people in and it takes people on a journey. But with the like pre-K stuff, like I play Baby Shark. I don't know if you know this because you didn't say it, but like I played Baby Shark.
I did. Yeah, I saw
so
it in your
that's, like,
credits. Yeah.
Young preschool kind of stuff. I don't know. I love it though. Like that was one of my favorite jobs because it just sort of was so sweet. Like it brightens my day, like seeing what the kids are learning and like just acting like so over the top in so many ways. And then sometimes we would have ensemble records and it was like the cutest sounding ensemble record because everyone's like, oh no, you know, like everyone's like doing these like really cute voices. So yeah, I don't know what the question was.
There is no.
I'm out of it, you guys.
We are conversing. We're not
Yeah.
we're not Q&A-ing. Do you? I mean, your voice is so unique, and
Thank
I
you.
love it. And do you try to audition with different like inflections on your voice, or are you just
Yes.
always like trying to be yourself?
I do.
Yeah?
I do try, but I sort of have like lessened the trying because every time I get a job, they're like, I'll do something funky. And then they're like, okay. And then like they'll kind of turn the knob all the way down to where I'm just myself and my voice. And they're like, yes, that. And I'm like, guys, this is just me. Okay, I'll do it. But, you know, I just wanted to do something like kind of crazy, but all right. You know, but I do have like it's like a blessing and a curse to have like such a specific sounding voice because I always cut through and I can always tell when it's me, which is like, makes me so uncomfortable because like, if I do the job and then they ask me to do all these like, other characters, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, you're gonna have to like morph my voice or something because I have a very specific timbre.
Yeah.
Even if I do something like out there, just you can still tell. I can anyway.
Well, you hear, yeah, and what you hear in your head is different from what, of course, everybody else hears. Like my voice sounds totally different from what I hear in my own head. It's very odd.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Is it? But do you like listening? Do you like listening to yourself or watching yourself more, or neither?
I hate watching myself.
Really?
Oh, it's so embarrassing. Yeah, I hate it, and that's part of like the mental illness of being an actor. Because like if I weren't an actor and I was just like existing in the world, I would be just getting like natural feedback, and I would be like, yeah, I am like wonderful and great and pretty and all this stuff. But then when I see myself on camera or like see myself interacting, I'm like, God, oh, Kimiko, no, it's like so embarrassing, and then it makes you second guess yourself in this weird way, but you have to constantly be like auditioning and like watching the takes and watching yourself on camera as you do the jobs and stuff, just to like make sure you're learning from the experience. But yeah, I don't love watching myself. Hearing myself, I'm very perfectionistic, so it's hard, but like I do not mind when I'm like, yeah, I nailed that. That's awesome. I feel really proud of myself when I think I did well.
I remember this in high school. I did a play where I had to like aggressively make out with somebody on stage.
Oh, in high school?
In high school, yeah.
In the high school theater?
It wasn't a high school production, but I was in high school. I was a high school student, but I was doing a college. It was at the local community college. And I was so nervous for my parents to come watch because I was like, they're going to watch me like make out with somebody.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
And so it took like that anxiety of them being at that show. And then I did it and I was like, oh, well, I guess they didn't say anything about that specifically and it was all fine. And I still remember that anxiety leading up to that and kind of like having to shove myself through that door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel... And I wouldn't want to watch myself either. I think watching myself doing something like that, that would be weird. That'd be too weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting you say that because I was thinking maybe this morning or last night, like I used to be so on edge or scared to step into my sexuality at all, like to just be kind of like whoever I am. And, because I was always scared, like, oh, my parents are going to see this. I did Orange is the New Black.
Right.
Very,
very naked in that, yes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to see this. That was so embarrassing. And then they text me, they're like, great job, Kimmy, on episode 8. I'm like, that was their way of telling me they saw it. Because that was like episode 3 or 4 or something, I was like, all right. But then I think I sort of, obviously, like now I'm posting all this like semi-explicit content. And I just sort of feel like whatever now.
Well, that's what I meant earlier, and I'm glad you circled back to it. That's what I was touching on earlier. I was like, that I wouldn't have pegged you as a beta because of how confident you seem about yourself, your own body, and your attitude just towards life in general. Because like what in the video, the video for your new song, it's very much like I'm in control. I'm the woman.
Dommy mommy.
Dommy mommy. There you go. Yeah. And so, I think so. Dig into that. Is that more of ripping off the Band-Aid of vulnerability and being like, oh, I'm still okay, let me continue?
Totally not. I feel like it's not been a vulnerable thing to be like naked or something. I don't have like a anything that makes me feel scared about that necessarily. Actually, like the part of my body that I hate the most, or like I get like really freaked out if people are looking at, is my feet.
Your feet?
I just have like a weird thing where I'm like, oh my God, my feet are like, so gross. And like, no, they're totally fine. They're just normal feet. I just have a thing about it. Like they're always like, when they're exposed, I feel really like vulnerable.
Do you have like long, weird, crooked toes or something?
No, they're short. They're normal. They're like, but I don't know. I have a thing against it. Like there was this one, I felt bad. There was this one episode I did of a show, and it was a salon scene, like a nail salon scene. And I get to set and I see the camera set up like at where my feet are going to be. And I'm like, no. And they're like, so the camera's going to pan up. I'm like, guys, no. And they're like, really? And I'm like, I can't even sign up for this. Like, my feet are gonna be in this shot, and they're like, yeah, is that all right? And so I was like trying to explain to the background actor, like, just like cover my feet, like when you're massaging my feet, just like cover it with your hand. And she like didn't really understand English, and I was like, God damn it, like, come on. And I think like I don't know, I think it was a swift camera motion. I don't know if I really like went back to watch it. But it made me, I nearly like had a panic about it because I was like, I can't believe my feet are going to be like so on camera in this way.
So, of all the things that you've done, being on stage, doing solos, all of this shit, that the feet is what gives you the most anxiety? You're perfectly normal, ordinary, everyday feet.
Yeah, they're not like particularly weird. I don't know. Even my legs sometimes, like, it just feels like very vulnerable.
Interesting.
Yeah. Showing my ankles.
Well, this is like the 1700s,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can understand that. But when you're on stage, does like general? I asked you before we started recording if you're like kind of an anxious person. You were like, yeah, who isn't, right?
Yeah.
If you're in this business, but like, are you able to cope with that or manage the well, I guess just the anxiety in different forms? Is it different forms for like theater, for singing, for
Yeah.
film and whatnot, or do you have different ways to like manage that stress?
Completely. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different beast, all of them. Like, so I don't know if like why you ask is because of like the Waitress experience. I don't know if you know anything about it, but like I basically, while I was doing Waitress, developed panic disorder.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's like I was contracted for a year, but I left at 3 months to take a medical leave because like my panic attacks weren't stopping. Like I was in it for about a month and a half, and then it started.
Wow.
And so I was doing the show for about a month and a half with like doing. I was having like 3 to 5 panic attacks a day,
Whoa.
and like at least 1, 2, maybe 3 on stage a night. Like it
And
was.
the audience would never know.
Yeah, because it was like muscle memory. I was like good at hiding it. I've always been good at hiding my anxiety because like you have to, so you don't seem, I don't know, like, I don't know. You don't have to, but like it behooves me to, right? So I was really good at hiding it. And it was this weird thing where I didn't like want to talk to anyone about it because I didn't want it to be like realer. I didn't want it to be real. But no one could really tell. They were just like, suddenly she's like rubbing essential oils on her hands and like, very like less social than before. And like just seems to be like in her own like experience. And I don't know if anyone knew what was going on until like maybe many years after, or maybe even after, just after. But yeah, I had to like at a certain point I had to go because like it wasn't sustainable. Like the amount of anxiety that I had during that show, because when you have panic disorder, you are fearing the panic attack.
Yeah.
So you're constantly like expecting it. You're on edge. You're like, I'm gonna have a panic attack. Is
It's
this
cyclical.
a panic attack? Yeah. So, and it's just so much easier for you to have a panic attack in that situation because you're like at the edge of it all the time. So I was like not sleeping and not eating. Like I couldn't. Like the anxiety was making it hard to swallow and stuff. And like all of this was feeding itself, and then you're going on stage burning like however many calories by being on stage, and like it just was like something is not gonna be okay if I don't leave, So I left, and I found that was a really hard thing to move through because it was like Broadway was like my number one.
Yeah.
It was my childhood dream. Like all I wanted to do was that, and before the panic set in, I was having the time of my life. I was just like in heaven, basically. I was like, this is the best job ever. And, but there was a little bit of confusion, I think, because I was also filming Orange is the New Black at the time, but I was still doing Orange. And I think people were like, how is she? And I'm like, the thing is on set, you can say, I need a minute. Like I need a breath, and you can take a breath, or you can take a Xanax or whatever you need to like get through the moment or that day. And it's also a job I had for like 4 or 5 years. So I was just like, I knew like what the thing was, and I knew everyone. And it was just sort of like, if I needed to say I have to take a breath, they would go, okay, but Broadway is a moving train.
Yeah.
You
can't, you really shouldn't. You're not expected
it's
to stop.
barreling forward. And the times where I've had panic attacks, like off stage, the stage managers were like, should we stop? And I would just like run out onto stage and be like, no, we're not stopping. Because it felt so embarrassing to me
Oh,
to
wow.
could you imagine like halting a show, because you were like out of body and like you couldn't like feel your limbs,
But it's not uncommon.
I know. I hear now, like
Now-
after that experience, a lot of people were like, this happens.
Yeah, and it was Patty Murin that first talked to me about
Oh,
it on this podcast.
interesting,
Yeah,
okay.
and when she was doing Frozen,
Oh,
she would have panic attacks during the show,
Yeah.
just like you, and just bury it down and like feel completely out of her body and not remember how she got to the end of the song or the scene or the whole show sometimes.
yeah.
So yeah, like I think she kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and then everybody was like, oh yeah, kind of me too. Because you're
Mhm.
expected. I mean, say it all the time in the podcast. This is the Olympics of theater. This
Mhm.
is the best of the best on
Mhm.
Broadway. And to maintain the stress of that
Mm-hmm.
is its own challenge, aside from being a great singer, great dancer, and great actor, if you are doing all three of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, like, I think there was just so much at the time going on that was contributing to, like, it wasn't the, like, being on stage thing. It was, like, all of it that I was, like, filming another show. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. Like, I was doing so much press for Waitress, and the album had just come out. Like, it felt very, like the spotlight was on me, metaphorically, and also, like, actually.
Literally.
Literally. And it just felt, and also Nerve, like this movie I had done just came out into theaters, and I felt very like exposed. And there was also like gun violence stuff happening. I mean, there always is, but like someone had just gotten shot at the stage door and the
I
Christina Grimmie- yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a horrifying thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, people know where I am every day,
Wow, wow.
And so it like that idea like freaked me out. Like there was an usher that ran down the aisle one time to like stop someone from filming something, and I almost ran off stage because I was like, it was like this like reaction of like all the things that were going on.
Yeah.
But it was a really crazy time. And also like living in New York, I know I'm just like rambling.
No, this is fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like living in New York when you're like Orange is the New Black was like so massive, and in hindsight people are like, oh yeah, that was a big show, but like at the time it was like the only show.
Yeah.
You know,
it was one of the earliest big ones on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was House of Cards and Orange is the New Black,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
it, like in terms of streaming. So
Mhm.
streaming didn't exist until
Yeah.
then, and so everyone was watching it, and it was like international. And so when I would step out of my apartment in New York City, and such a demographic for the show, I would get like screamed at and bombarded and like followed, and like and people would like grab me and take a selfie and run off, and things like that, or like secret film, but like very obviously,
Right.
and I like, it was very like, it was a very hard position to be in, being that exposed, and also like just not having the money to, save yourself or like create a safer situation for yourself. You had to take the subway.
I did not think about that.
Yeah.
Your whole private identity is all of a sudden just put out there.
Yeah.
I mean, not your secrets, but like everybody all of a sudden knows your face. So you can't go get a Starbucks without having people try to
they
take
would
a
like
selfie.
gasp and scream, like it was like pop star status in a
Yeah.
way that like I never wanted.
Has it, I mean, I guess it's calmed down, but like, is it a lot better now
Oh, yeah.
since the show's been out for a while?
Yeah, I get recognized everywhere, but it's like, I know you.
Yeah, but
Or-
what do I know you
Yeah,
from?
because they haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes they will, and it's way more respectful. And that's all I will. I don't care if people come up to me if it's like respectful and calm and not like intrusive. Like there were times where I would have like heartfelt, like I'm crying on the subway platform with my friends, like having conversations, and people would like run up and grab me,
Oh,
and stuff like that. Or I'd be in yoga and I'd open my eyes from like Shavasana, and like, and then someone would be like, hey, like right above me, like,
no, that's creepy.
no, it was like serious.
It's
It was-
cartoon creepy.
It was really unreal. There were a lot of factors contributing to the panic and like the anxiety.
We're going to take a quick break for a few commercials. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the episode. Did you have to learn to to be comfortable setting boundaries? Because like,
Listen, I always have, especially in those situations, I'm like, no, you're like, like it made me like have a visceral reaction. I wasn't just like welcoming it necessarily, but when it's like that kind of energy where they are out of their mind because they are not expecting to see someone that they just saw on their computer screen or their TV screen. They're like, and they're like having a visceral reaction. So, like it's just a hard thing to manage. But most people in that position are taking cars everywhere.
Yeah.
And don't have, you have to like, I don't know, they're able to protect themselves.
Yeah, like in New York, when you're not going to or from a set, they're not going to pay for your transportation.
No,
so you still have to take public transportation because this is New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get that, and that stinks.
Mhm.
That really stinks. So,
I mean, it is what it is, but it's also like, these things make you stronger. Like I haven't had a panic attack since.
since Waitress,
Yeah. And I think it's just like my body, like after I got into like a safer feeling situation, because like I think I was like also, it doesn't help to go back to the place you're always having panic attacks. So it's like a little PTSD kind of vibes. But like when you step away from it and you go like, okay, I'm in the like comfort of my home and blah, 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 blah. Like you kind of center yourself again. And I think because that was so excruciatingly hard, my body, like as soon as I start to feel that anxious or start to feel like maybe a panic attack coming on, I'm like, nope, not happening. Nope. And I sort of, I have more tools now. Because at the time I didn't have I wasn't on anything like an SSRI, like anti-anxiety medication or anything. So I didn't have like even like quick fixes or, like I wasn't on Zoloft or Lexapro or whatever people take to help mitigate that. And I wasn't with a therapist either. So now I've done a lot, surrounding my anxiety and trying to like make my experience of this one life to be
and it sounds too like
much easier and better.
Yeah, it sounds too that you found solace to it expressing, like writing down your diary, your songwriting diary, which is then turning into these songs, which is then like you're putting them out for the world and people like them. So that's got to be validating, right? You're like, I shared my soul and people like my soul.
Yeah. I think my fear is that people won't like it or don't like understand it or, but I do. It is nice. That's why I hid it for so long, because I was like scared of being misunderstood, like people going,
But the more you put out, aren't you more understood the more you put out? It's the catch-22.
I'm really excited for more music to come out because I have an EP lined up. I just like know in the scope of everything just helps you see me more clearly. Like Hang Out Forever is just one piece of like a much bigger puzzle. And it's like
the next song is Serving My Time.
Serving My Time, yes, exactly.
Because you get arrested at the end.
The animals.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, it's a journey, and the expression isn't like, this is a very specific like kind of sounding song, and my other songs, like I don't really subscribe to like a genre. I just want to write whatever I'm feeling and whatever I want, And so I think people are gonna, if this song didn't hit for someone, maybe the acoustic version will, or like maybe the next couple. I think the next song that I'm releasing a lot more is universally like, yeah, that's a vibe. A lot more men enjoy that song, and I'm excited for just all the music there is to come. There's so much.
What's something that you haven't done that you still want to?
In terms of like
Professionally.
I always wanted to have like my own TV show, like as a comedy. Like always wanted my own comedy series. And especially what would like just make my life is if it had anything to do with singing. Like if I was able to sing within it.
Ooh.
But like not like, sing like sing, like if I was able to like, there were dance numbers and it was crazy, like that would just make my life. It would be so fun.
I think you should call it Kimmy's Coming Home.
Kimmy's Coming Home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pitch it. Write
All right.
it.
We got a title. Let's work backwards and make our through line. Our log line. Yeah. Let's see.
Sometimes that does happen. Listen.
Right?
Yeah. Hang Out Forever. I was like, hang out. I just like wrote a song around it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. All right. So as we wind down, I want to play plot in 60 seconds.
Okay.
This is not meant to induce bad anxiety. This is
Okay.
fun anxiety.
Okay.
Give me a number 1 through 17, and that will correspond to a list of musicals, popular musicals.
Oh gosh, is this a test?
It's not a test.
Oh boy.
It's a fun game. And so then you have to
Where
give me
you win or lose.
where there are no winners, the points don't matter. And then you have to give me the plot to that musical in 60 seconds or less, and you can make up anything you would like.
Oh, so these are fake musicals.
No, these are real musicals, but if you don't know the plot,
I see.
feel free to embellish.
Okay.
You know, whatever. Okay,
Gosh.
so
okay.
1 through 17, what you got?
Let's do 17.
17 is the musical 6. Go.
60 seconds
6.
remaining.
There are 6 pop stars, and they're all really cool looking, and they belt their faces off, and they dance around, they prance around. Maybe it's like K-pop vibes. I don't know. I think that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's
45 seconds
oh shoot.
remaining.
Okay, I don't have anything else. I've seen the posters. 6. No, wait, 6. Is 6 the one that's on Broadway now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a musical called 9, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
not on
different.
musical
That's-
right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not
Sorry.
Broadway, yeah.
Seconds remaining.
Okay, and everyone is fighting for their lives to be the first the top the lead singer of the pop band. Maybe it's like a competition show. Is a competition to be the
15
best?
seconds remaining.
Maybe. Okay,
Maybe?
I'm getting close. I can't believe I don't know this. I actually can. I don't pay attention. But yeah, and then someone
5,
wins.
4,
There you go.
Okay.
2.
Yeah, the,
One.
6 Wives of Henry VIII, each telling their story in a
It's that
In a-
historical?
in a pop concert style presentation to compete to see who has the most tragic story and to rewrite her story.
Oh my god. Wow. Who would have known?
Lots of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's hilarious.
Yes, it's very good. Each number is like a different style of pop singer. The writers did like one number is the Beyonce and one's I'm bad with female pop singers. Anyway, but you get the idea. So, but yeah, they're like, we want to be more than just the wives of this man. So we're going to tell our own stories.
Oh, very
That's a
very
great show.
feminist. Yeah.
Great show. Okay, so 3 standard closing questions
Okay.
that I ask everybody. If I can bring them up here. I don't know. I've done almost 500 episodes and I can't memorize these. Number 1, what motivates you?
What motivates me? Honestly, my own happiness, and often that means like what is making me feel good, what is making the people around me feel good, what feels like aligned in this moment in time. Like it's not always like my goal is this and it is forever my goal. Like I'm constantly shifting to like find what brings me peace, what brings me happiness, what brings me joy. And like, yeah, I want to have the most joyful life ever. And so it's like leaning into friendship, traveling a lot, like, cuddling my animals all the time. Like,
What do you have? What animal?
I have a dog and 2 cats.
Oh.
Yeah, Arnold's kind of iconic. He's like a little bit famous. I used to have an Instagram for him. But yeah, what motivates me is just like community and creating things and making and hopefully like helping people feel understood or being understood myself. Yeah.
All right. What advice would you give to your younger self and younger people listening now, starting out down a similar path?
Oh my goodness. To my younger self, I think she knew. She was like, you're going to be awesome. Whatever you do, you're going to do it and you're going to be awesome. I always had this feeling inside of me, like whatever, like even if I don't pursue this whole acting thing, like I can pivot and I can be whatever I want to be. I just like, I know, I believe in myself. And so I've always been that way. And I just want to be like, you did it, girl. Like, no matter, like, even if this is like the height I reach, or if I continue on and be like this great, wonderful thing. I mean, I feel like I am already great, but you know what I mean? Like whatever I achieve career wise or whatever, like I just want her to know, like, you did it, you're doing it. And advice to people pursuing this, is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always say, always keep in check your own emotional, like, inner world and like how you feel while you're doing something. Like, because there's this, like, you do have to persist. Like, if you're not getting something, so much of it is just sort of like you gotta be the puzzle piece that they need, and it has nothing to do with your talent or it's political, like their cousin got the job or whatever. But like it's all about building trust. And so like it's lucky for someone to get a job right off the bat, but like what people are tracking is like, is this person consistent? Can they bring it on the day? Are they gonna like mess this up? There's a lot of money on the line, and so like they want to feel like you have what it takes like emotionally to like be like someone who can do the job, and not just like in this scenario, but like in actuality. And so like I think a lot of it is persistence, but I say that with the caveat of like you have to make sure that as you're persisting, you still want it and you still feel passionate about it and you still love it so much, because like there is a lot of like you're not getting the part, and it can feel really personal. And often it's not at all.
Yeah.
Because if you've gotten that far, it's not personal. It's like we wanted you, And so I don't know. I like to tell people to keep that in mind. Like people want you to get the job.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casting directors, and especially in auditions too, they want you to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear that a lot. Okay. Last question. Hardest one.
Uh-oh.
If you could only see one show for the rest of your life, but you could see it as many times as you want, what would you see?
Oh my gosh. Like musical theater?
Interpret as you will. This makes it super hard.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's really, 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 that's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think everything would get annoying at some point. You know what I mean? Everything. Okay. I mean, my favorite musical is Into the Woods, but I don't know if I would want like the bling, bling, bling. I think that would really like drive me fucking crazy. Drive me crazy. Sorry if you need to edit that. But yeah, show. This is such a, people are going to be like, oh, when I say this, but like, there are enough seasons of this where I'm like, I feel comfortable saying like The Office kind of hits. Like I watched it, back when it was airing, but then I rewatched all of it from start to finish, like sometime in 2016. And I was like, every episode is golden. It's so good. It's so fun. Like, and there are so many seasons where it's like the start to finish, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's hard to like, I forget what happens already, like by the time I'm at the end. So I feel comfortable saying that. And it is really brilliant at the end of the day, as much as people like to eye roll at girls loving The Office.
No, it is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think there's so many different levels of comedy that you can take out of that, and like the different performance. It's just chef's kiss, chef's kiss. All right. So everybody, you need to make sure you listen and watch Hangout Forever. They're different experiences, listening only and watching. So make sure. Where else can we connect with you? How do you want people to find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram mainly. That's like my main thing. Kimiko Glenn, that's my name, and it's my Instagram handle. I also have like a slightly different Instagram handle called Kimiko.wave, WAV. And that holds the key to like a lot more like different, maybe unhinged kind of stuff. And that will be more like extra behind the scenes and stuff. And like I'm trying to keep my Instagram like a little more balanced because I am an actor too, so like I'm promoting a lot of Hangout Forever right now. But at some point, like the Kimiko.wave is going to be mostly like all the music extra stuff, and so people can follow that as well. But I also am on TikTok, and I'm really got to get better at it because I keep forgetting. I don't open TikTok ever. I don't use it. I only use it because my parents send me like cute animal videos on
Your
TikTok.
parents send you TikToks.
Yeah, my dad is obsessed with TikTok. Like, so they'll post or they'll put on the group chat like silly videos, and so that's why I have TikTok. But I'm getting more on it now. I'm figuring it out, and I will be posting more.
There you go.
And that'll be like its own kind of thing because I know TikTok algorithm kind of like responds better to like talking to camera and that sort of thing, and like less professional content. So I'll be forced to be more vulnerable on that app. So I will be forced to be more vulnerable because I do want like people to hear my music and get to know me a little bit better. So that tag is It's Kimiko, ITS Kimiko.
Just do like acoustic covers of your favorite songs or something. Just like turn on the camera and play. That'd be fun.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something that TikTok likes.
Good.
It's going to have to be.
Well, wherever you are listening now, leave a rating, leave a review, tell your friends. I'm on Threads and Instagram and TikTok, and I'm still on Facebook because my parents listen. Yeah, leave a rating, review. I said that already. Tell your friends. Helps the podcast grow. And Kimiko, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you.